Hey, Pete Colasano here with PeteColasano.com. Wanted to share something with you that I saw and what I thought a person could do about it. I saw a Facebook post not too long ago, and all the person wrote was, "I really need to change my life." And I thought, wow, at the same time, I thought that's heartbreaking and exciting, all at the same time. I thought it was heartbreaking because, for someone to post that on Facebook, that's all that they wrote was, "I really need to change my life." I mean, that person is really hurting for them to post just that and just leave it at that and see what kind of comments come. So I felt really bad. But at the same time, I was kind of excited because I'm thinking, wow, this person is in a position right now to really make some changes, some positive changes. So I actually wrote back to them, a little comment on what they might want to do. But it's exciting when somebody is in a position when they're ready to make those changes. And here's why. My mentor, Jim Rohn, said something that totally changed the way I look at things. And it had two parts. The first part was, for things to change, you have to change. And when I first heard that, I'm like, wow, that hits you right in the chest. I mean, that's hardcore right there. When you think about it, it's a hell of a thing to accept. That for things to change, for everything around me to change, I have to change. That's a difficult thing to accept because we love to say the problem is somewhere out there. The government's the problem, the weather is my problem, my boss is the problem, my kids are the problem. They have to change, my boss has to change, my coworkers have to change. We need a new president, we need a new governor, we need a new mayor, we need different taxes, and all those things are out there. And what he was saying is, for things to change, I've got to change. Okay? And that could be a difficult thing to accept because we want things to change for sure. But to change ourselves can be really tough. It's the second part of what he said that's the best part. So it's, for things to change, you have to change. But if you will change, everything will change for you. I thought, wow, everything will change for me. Once I start to make changes in my life, then everything around me will change. So you've all experienced this, you don't even really know it. If you've ever gotten a new car, you know that suddenly after you get the new car, you seem to see that car everywhere on the road. I recently got a new Chevy pickup truck, and it seemed like that exact day, everywhere I went, I saw Chevy pickup trucks. Big ones, small ones, different colors, but I knew that they were Chevy pickup trucks. Now the reality is those things were there all along, but now that I made a change in my life, there was a change, a new truck, new car, new vehicle, I seem to see that same truck everywhere else. And the same thing goes with the rest of your life. If you make small changes, suddenly it seems like things appear in your life. Now, that sounds like magic, but it's really not. The truth is that the solutions to all those problems, the solutions to the challenges of life, are out there right at this very second. You're just not looking for them because you're looking somewhere else. You're looking at what the problem is. You're looking for other things to change. And all you see are the problems. But once you start looking inward, once you say, I have to make certain changes, suddenly answers appear and things actually do start to change. So then the question begs, what kind of changes would I have to make? Well, here's the thing. You don't have to make these massive changes. Something as simple as making your bed. If you're not making your bed, start making your bed in the morning. If you already make your bed, then you don't have to worry about that. But start making your bed in the morning. How about this one? You've probably all heard this. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Well, what if that was true? That seems like an easy enough thing to do, right? Just eat an apple a day. What if you just started eating an apple a day? That's a good habit. And that's really what we're talking about, picking up better habits or stopping old habits. Over the weekend, I watched a mixed martial arts fight in the UFC between Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier. It was a championship light heavyweight fight. Jon Jones was the youngest light heavyweight in the history of the UFC. He was a champion at 23. Lots of money, lots of fame. It all hit him at a very young age, all at once. I mean, he was the champ really, really quick. And you can tell he wasn't quite ready for it. Got himself in a lot of trouble. Trouble with drugs, DUIs, all kinds of trouble. Got suspended. Over the last 2 years, he's had one fight because he's had 2 suspensions. And everybody knew that he's pretty much the best fighter out there. but there was something wrong. And it was kind of upsetting, and people didn't like him because they're like, wow, here's a guy with all this talent that seems to just so easily and willingly throw it away. But he had this fight coming up that was this past Saturday, and all reports were saying that during training he was like a different guy. He was dedicated, he was focused, he was ready. And then the fight takes place. He wins the fight, but it's what happened after the fight that I realized he made a small change. Him and Daniel Cormier had this massive rivalry. I mean, they hated each other, and they called each other every name under the book. I mean, they really got in each other's face and said some pretty nasty stuff, and readily admitted that neither one liked each other. But after the fight, instead of, really giving it to Daniel Cormier and saying all kinds of nasty things about him, which he had done in the past, they had each done in the past, instead of doing that, he praised Daniel Cormier. He said, this man is a champion. He deserves your respect. He has my respect. And moving forward, I want to be more like Daniel Cormier. And I thought, wow, this guy's life just changed in an instant. Now, the reality is, it didn't change in an instant. He had clearly made some changes before that led to that. But now you have a bunch of people that went from hating Jon Jones or not liking Jon Jones to now liking him and respecting him. I'm one of them. I was rooting for him to lose. And now I think, wow, this guy's got it figured out. And I'm willing to bet that Jon Jones is more successful moving forward. He showed some humility. He was humble in victory. Even afterwards in the post-fight interview, he was humble. I thought, wow, this one little change. Even in the post-fight interview, he said, when he was asked about the fight, he said, listen, I have a lot of respect for Daniel Cormier. He's a great champion. He said, but this is what we do. One of us has to win and one of us has to lose. So he's admitting that this is a rough sport. We're trying to beat each other up. But afterwards, he was humble and showed humility. This small change is going to change his whole life if he sticks with it, which I felt like he was really sincere. And I think that's going to change his life for the better. There'll be people like me who are now rooting for Jon Jones who used to root against him, which is huge because that's motivation for him. And I think that's a good thing. I'm actually excited to see where he goes moving forward because I think it's going to be, pretty exciting. I think he's going to have a lot more people in his corner, figuratively speaking. And I think that's great. And I think most importantly, he'll be happier. I really do. I'll also bet that you could do the same thing. I really believe anybody can do it. If you make small changes in perspective, small changes in your judgment, small changes in habits, then things will change. Because if you will change, everything will change for you. So for PeteColasano.com, I'm Pete Colasano, hoping you make some small changes in your life. If you like this video, I hope you do, please share it with some of your friends and make sure you click the thumbs up button down below. Subscribe to the YouTube page and click that little bell and you'll get notifications. Also, if you haven't yet, this is my book, something I'm pretty proud of. I made some changes, so I was able to write this book. It's called School Sucks, Why Schools Are Failing and How We Can Fix It. If you have kids, if you work with kids, if you're a coach, a teacher, a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, and you work with kids and deal with kids at all, this is a book for you to help those kids learn how to be successful. How do we help them become more successful? So School Sucks, you can get it on Amazon.com. All right? So until next time, I'll see you guys later.